Hey, the kings of this earth will fall. Call hello Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well over the flock. Shalom and salutations to you brothers out here who push the words of truth and sincerity. Shalom. Now I'm watching this clip where this dude is speaking very openly and whistleblowing. He's basically a whistleblower, and he's giving all the information that he done found as a medical doctor of how the collusion behind this world NWO, starting with the jab. And I'm gonna just play a little bit of what he says.
Peter Bregan, COVID-19 and the Global Predators, We Are the Prey. I wrote one of the introductions. Dr. Leafly and Dr. Vladimir Losenko wrote the other introductions. These books are basically nonfiction. They have 1,000 citations in the Bregan book showing how it was coordinated and planned. Now Bobby Kennedy has his book out, The Real Anthony Fauci. I'm the most mentioned physician in that book. I can tell you that if you want to find the evidence that Moderna was working on the vaccine before the virus ever emanated out of the lab. If you wanted to find the collusions and the operations between the Gates Foundation and Gavi and CEPI and Pfizer and Moderna and the vaccine manufacturers and the Wuhan lab and the National Institutes of Health and Ralph Barrick and University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and how all this was organized. If you want to see the Johns Hopkins planning seminar called the SPARS pandemic in 2017, where they had a symposium, people showed up, they wrote up their symposium findings, they published this. It says it's going to be a coronavirus. It's going to be related to MERS and SARS.
So this dude is giving all the goods, all the goodies, and the information behind what's factual, man. Like the proof that this is all coordinated ahead of time. And then you got these talking points, man, these talking heads. And what I'm gonna say about this is Esau really wants for him not to be exposed, man. That's why they're the devil, the deceiver. That's why you're you're Satan, the adversary. Because at the core of your DNA, you do not want the truth out. You do not want you exposed. You do not want the world to know that you're the devil, man. So listen, after all of that information was spewed, listen how this man re-narrates it.
Military in North Carolina and Moderna, and they got together and they planned all of this because it makes people feel better if they can feel like at least somebody's planning this, right? Because then they're not just living in the chaotic, atomized modern world that they're living in. And so they run for comfort. And McCullough will be a little bit careful about exactly how he puts it, but the people who receive it are like, oh, Bill Gates did this at Johns Hopkins.
Right. And I don't know this.
Man, listen, you always gonna have people who deny the truth. Just get with it. Just understand that this is a solo mission. What we all on here is a solo mission. The majority of these people do not want this to be so. Why? Let's go into Job 34:19. It says, how much less to him that accepteth not the person of princes, nor regardeth the rich more than the poor. Who are these talking heads trying to regarding? Who are they trying to defend? The rich. And the rich don't give a damn about the poor, man. But here it is, they'll defend the rich, and they're paid to defend the rich. And the rich has set them up. They all in the pockets of the rich. They all shells. Because the rich should never want to expose themselves for who they are. Well, the Most High don't care. He's not going to regard your riches, your princes. It says, nor regardeth the rich more than the poor, for they are all the works of his hands. He created you. He don't care how much money you got. He created gold. He don't care how much gold you got. So the Most High is just going to regulate. He's going to start at the top. See, that's why I'm going to label this something like all the kings will fall. Because the Most High don't regard the princes or the rich like people do. People are the ones who regard them. People are the ones that glorify other people. The Most High don't do that. It says, in a moment shall they die, and the people shall be troubled at midnight and pass away, and the mighty shall be taken away without hand. So the Most High is just going to destroy. He don't care who you are. That's what you people worry about. The Most High don't care about that stuff. Psalms 2 and 10. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled. But a little, blessed are they all that put their trust in him. So the kings is going to get jacked up. Why? Because they don't have no fear of the Lord. That's how the Lord wants you to serve him, with fear. And you people so worried about your kings that you'll forget that there's a higher power that created your kings, created your rich. And he, man, the Son, Yahushua, he coming back to do damage. He not concerned with that. This is Revelations 18 and 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornications and lived deliciously with her, it's going into the nations that made money and prospered off of America, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, aka America, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come, thermonuclear war. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. So they're going to witness a miracle fall, and then they're going to know, ain't the Most High don't got no pity for the rich. You don't got no pity for your wealth. You don't have no pity for your society. You don't have no pity for your school systems, your children. That's not how he gets down. He destroys the wicked. You go into Revelation 19. In 16 it says, And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of kings and Lord of lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and of the flesh of captains, and of the flesh of mighty men, and of the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and the false prophet with him that wrought miracles before them, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. This is what we're dealing with EU, NATO. It's dealing with the destruction to come, Third World War, and the return of Yahushua, and how they're going to take down armies and nations and all these kings, and they're going to spiritually or figuratively consume the flesh, because these societies is going to fall one by one, crumble, and that's the time we in. That's what the Most High is sanctioned from on high, and that's what man can't turn back. Lord, when this video is edifying, until next time, Shalom.